Chhaochharia, Head of Global Markets India at UBS, is now joining us here in the studio. Gautam, great to see you. So if you had to tell us 3-4 big takeaways from the conference this time, what would those be?
Hello, everyone. So I think the first thing I would say is we saw after a long time, initial signs of optimism, both select, I would say still select corporates, quite a few financials actually, and also among some global investors. I think the way to put it is, it's not a case that global investors are waiting to jump in or as such, but at least more engaged in terms of looking at bottom-up ideas constructively. So, which we have been seeing a little bit for the last 2-3 months, but in the conference it was very, very clear that they are willing to engage.
Got it. So that's one. Anything else that really stood out for you, which marks a change from what was the situation, say, 6 months back?
So sectorally, financials. I think that's where the optimism, again, it's not a full-fledged bullish commentary or anything, but clear optimism on both sides, from the corporates as well as from investors. That's one big takeaway, I would say.
And they're bullish that the jump that we've seen in loan growth, courtesy GST 2.0, the festive season, etc., that will sustain. Yeah. I mean, is there enough from what you heard for you to raise your EPS estimates for any of the banks? So our analyst hasn't raised estimates yet, but the corporates are also, again, they have seen tough few quarters. So it's not that they are jumping in with excitement, okay, we'll have a great uptake. So the classical line is still second half should be better than first half. But beyond the initial headlines, if you probe here and there, then they are seeing early signs. Like some banks are seeing pickup in loan growth, which have historically been more conservative or lower growth. Some of the NBFCs are seeing clear bottoming out of credit cost trends. The NIM trends clearly are bottoming out. So a lot of these, if you add that together, and because as market participants and talking to investors, we to look at these early signs rather than clear signs, then yes, there is incrementally a more bullish on financials post the conference than you were before.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think there is room for them to surprise and do well.
So Gautam, great to have you here now, and thanks for keeping the promise, right? That's what we said on day one. You want to see what you have to say on day 4 or day 3. My question is simply this: when you interact with a lot of the foreign clients and the foreign participants who came in, I guess no one dislikes India. No one's going to say we don't like India. The problem is they like other markets better for one reason or the other: valuations, the AI theme, etc. So how is that conversation shaping up?
So look, the AI part of it is tactical. A lot of investors were playing that investment cycle or trade this year, and obviously India didn't present enough opportunities on that. There are opportunities in rest of Asia, of course the US. But is it a case where investors are comfortable that India will be fine from an AI, anti-AI, etc.? Still a bit early. Okay, so I don't think the investors were necessarily looking or still are looking at India either from a pro or anti-AI trade lens itself.
So why I'm asking this is, by the way, folks, today the Kospi has ended with a 4% drop, right? So a lot of these markets have run up so much. And then you realize they're very prone to shakeouts like this. Someone sneezes in the US, Nvidia, something goes off, and people are very quick to rush to the exit. So can that over-positioning or hyper-over-positioning, can that start reversing? And then therefore you realize, oh, I should be in India as well, because these markets are prone to very, very sharp volatility now.
I've heard that from few investors, that is India an anti-AI trade, and therefore...
Yeah, therefore, de-risk with India.
Yeah. But again, at least my view and experience in the market suggests that that's not how it plays out. If investors lose money in the US or lose money in Kospi, they're losing money. It's not that they are able to rotate away in time and...
So when those markets do well, we anyway don't do well. When they fall, then also it's a problem.
At the margin, India can outperform or doesn't fall as much. Like today is a good day, a good example. But does it mean meaningful flows coming which will drive India up? That's what I mean doesn't happen like that.
Any new sub-themes, new ideas that emerged for you in the conference particularly?
So look, themes, I won't call it new necessarily, but themes which we have been bullish on and got reinforced, and I would say reinforced where our analyst estimates are ahead of the street or they're more bullish, is the broader power renewables part of CapEx, equipment, the entire supply chain or entire ecosystem, where our analyst estimates are significantly ahead of street. That was very clearly reinforced, not just at the conference meeting the companies which attended, but including some of the expert panels or the tours we had around the conference. So that ecosystem, I think, will surprise investors and markets, or not just in the next 2 quarters, but for the next 3 to 5 years. The level of activity in that broader ecosystem is very, very strong. So that was one key surprise, I would say, beyond financials. Otherwise, consumption broadly mixed bag, but not big surprises. Pockets doing very, very well, jewelry, etc., for example, including the outlook. But again, I won't say it's a big negative, a big new surprise as such. Yeah.
All right. Hi, Gautam. Good to see you in the studio. Gautam, I wanted to ask you about the state elections. There was some focus on it, but actually, we are nearly at the level that we were pre the exit poll that came out. So no talk at all about the state election, non-event, or at least it's a sentiment positive. What's your take?
It is sentiment positive for sure, but I think everyone was expecting this outcome, I guess. I don't think there was much anxiety talking to investors that the current government will have a negative outcome and therefore it can impact policy making, etc. So that was not a base expectation anyway. And obviously today, the global regional markets is not helping.
Okay, all right. So the big trigger then is going to be the India-US trade deal, right? I mean, all eyes on that. That's what will bring back the animal spirits.
Absolutely. That remains something which investors are watching very, very closely. So in many of the macro meetings, including with policymakers, that kept coming back, how, when, what. Obviously, no one gave an answer about when exactly. But I think there is a broader hope building up that it's going to be imminent.
Gautam, just to go back to the point you said, one of the key themes that emerged from all of this is renewables and power.
Yeah.
There's also an argument there that whether we could be in a situation of overcapacity, in the medium term, not in the near term maybe, and the fact that the stocks have already had a good run. So can you just expand on that thesis? And I don't know if you had any corporate tracks to that effect. What really came out and what makes you so convinced on renewables?
So look, capacity, if you just look at a linear curve of whatever the corporates have announced, etc., and you build in some demand side and you say overcapacity. But first, why our analyst is bullish and which is reinforced, capacity doesn't come up in a linear curve. There's always misses, delays, etc. Second is the entire value addition for the equipment suppliers. There's value addition happening by backward integration. And that will be much more difficult, or much more challenging than simple expansion. And there again, our analysts' work suggests that the street expectations of overcapacity, that's not imminent in the next 2-3 years, but will take possibly longer.
Okay.
And look, demand, how quickly the demand picks up for renewables will also depend on how the transmission capacity, etc., comes up. So 5 years out, who knows? But
at
it's
least
not,
in the near term, it seems to have a runway.
Exactly. Yeah.
Gautam, was there I just always wonder, there are so many meetings, hundreds of meetings, right, between investors and kind of right there in the middle of all of it. Is there an aha moment in a conference? You point out, will say, it'd be nice to get a note saying, well, things we learned at the conference we didn't know before.
We keep looking for that, but into today's environment of all of you around, it's difficult to get those moments.
But it happens, right, sometimes?
Rarely. These days it's much more rare than a few years back.
Because there's so much information which is already out there.
Exactly.
But this kind of reinforces some of the...
If you connect the dots, pick up early signs, like the financials I said in the beginning, that those are clearly early signs.
But think about it, it's a nice product.
It is.
The aha moment of the conference.
Yeah.
To me, the aha moment is a simple one-line thing. I think the clearly early signs of optimism.
Early signs of...
Credible optimism, not just classical second half hope, but clear optimism.
All right, well, we'll leave it there, Gautam. Thanks very much. Lovely speaking and great conference.
Thank you for coming down.
Thank you.
Okay, well, what we